Welcome. Well, let's give a hearty welcome to our conductor, Patrick Murphy. Thank you for coming. I am John Velasquez. I'm your MC for your very own Southwest Washington Wind Symphony. Our program today is called Imagination. For example, imagine starting a concert without the audience knowing it started. Imagine it, and it can happen. Believe it or not, we had to practice that part the most. Well, the piece you just heard is called Welcome to the Imagination World, or Yumenou Naniwa by Daisuke Shimizu. The translated Japanese is supposed to surprise us and surprise the listener to imagine a deconstructed fanfare that invites the conductor to join in at a later time. But before we continue with today's program, I need to remind us all to silence our cell phones, if you haven't already. Make sure to enter and exit in between numbers, and also our fire marshal has asked us to avoid standing in aisleways as it's against the law, so make sure you don't do that. Our wonderful ushers will assist you in finding seats in case you need them. We would also very much like to recognize our performers in the lobby today. And they are Jaden Corey and Landon Walters from Hawkinson High School. Gideon Beam from Evergreen High School. Blake Bruning and Makoa Lewis from Hawkinson High School. And Katie Twelves from Union High School. I was just amazed that they're still in high school and they're playing pieces that difficult. That just is amazing to me. And thank you as well to Evergreen Public Schools and our video production department for providing the space for us to rehearse and the ability for us to record our concerts and broadcast them. In particular, we want to thank Thomas Friedman for being here, and he's up in the booth. Say hi, Thomas. Now, our second piece for you today is called Original Suite, from a British composer, Gordon Jacob, who closely followed in the footsteps of Vaughan Williams and Holst in the early part of the 20th century. Together, they enriched the repertoire and raised the status of the military band, of which I used to be a member of, and other symphonic wind bands. These three composers were among the first to give bands music of quality to replace the run-of-the-mill selections of popular tunes that were staple for that time. The Original Suite is still one of the most frequently played of his band pieces. Apparently, it was the publishers who insisted that they put original on it so it wasn't to be confused with other popular or usual fare. The three movements will give the band plenty of contrasts, a tempo and good mood for the elegant first movement, and the more pensive second and perky and quirky third. Perky and quirky, I like those words, they work. So please enjoy Original Suite by Gordon Jacob. Oh, works. Good. Well, thank you, Patrick. That was wonderful. We were all taking bets on stage on whether or not someone would clap in between the movements of the suite. And I lost. Aaron, can I Venmo you? Okay. Well, our next composer, John Mackey, once famously compared the band and the orchestra like this: to the kind of person a composer might be attracted to at a party. The orchestra seems ideal for the conductor, but clearly feels superior and talks a lot about a whole slew of X's like Dvorak or Beethoven. The band, meanwhile, is loud and brash, but loves everything you do and can't wait to play your stuff. The newer, the better. Xerxes, as the music will undoubtedly suggest, was one of the nastier rulers, even by ancient standards. His claim to fame was that he invaded Athens and subsequently burned it to the ground. The music, though, is a concert march, but Mackey imagined sort of kind of an anti-march, an angry, nasty march that still follows the traditional march structure, but not what you would expect from an American or British march. Yet not as uplifting, but more unsettling and kind of ominous. Well, like a dinner party with composers, I guess you might say. So please enjoy, or at very least, experience Xerxes by John Mackey. sit right back by them. Woo! Well, we made it. Okay, well, let's total change of pace right now. Now imagine you're in algebra class. Having never contemplated playing clarinet, and your teacher, your algebra teacher, mind you, hands you one along with your less than stellar test. Until that day, our next composer, Australian composer Kara Williams, couldn't have imagined becoming a composer or even a musician. Her teacher desperately wanted to start a school band. She initially refused the clarinet and suggested the flute because she knew what a flute was. Her teacher refused and convinced her to try the clarinet. Not knowing anything about the clarinet, though, she took it home, got a sound out of it, and 4 decades later made a career out of sticking with it and got to play flute and saxophone and oboe and the bassoon, and well, you get the picture. Sometimes our imagination gets inspired by unlikely events or people that come across our lives that cause us to pursue things we never thought possible. To all those teachers out there who inspire their students by trying everything they can, this next piece is for you. And since it remains so cold outside, our esteemed conductor hoped we could try and imagine a perfect, endless summer, full of sun, fun, friends, and all the things that make those days so special. Whatever those things are for you, we hope your imagination will take you there. Since our winter is Australia's summer, let's all take a trip down under. Please enjoy Overture to an Endless Summer by Kara Williams. Thank you so much. That was a delightful piece. I love that piece. I feel warmer already. Our next piece is best introduced by the composer, Omar Thomas. If you were at our last concert, we performed one of his pieces there as well. He says about this piece, "My greatest challenge in creating this work was walking the line between reverence for the victims and their families and honoring my strong, bitter feelings towards both the perpetrator and the segments of our society that continue to create people like him." His challenge to compose this piece grew from a great tragedy on June 17th, 2015, at Mother Emanuel Methodist Church in Charleston, South Carolina. For context, during a Bible study session, a lone gunman entered the historic church and opened fire. 9 innocent lives were lost. Yet, in the face of that unimaginable grief, the survivors and the community displayed inspiring strength. They lifted their voices in unity, forgiveness, and a commitment to combat the very hatred that had shattered their world. And now, of Our New Day Begun by Omar Thomas. It's very hard to imagine the strength of will needed to rise above such a tragedy. If you go to actually their website today at their church, you'll find that they highlight the 4 R's: renew, restore, redeem, and resilient. Their historical resistance to racial segregation is representative and part of our national history. Which brings us to our next piece. The history of America is one of variations on themes of freedom, liberty, and becoming something new. Variations on America by Charles Ives reflects the diverse and dynamic spirit of the American experience. In its variations, Ives tries to capture the essence of our national journey with patriotism, humor, and a touch of irreverence. It resonates with the contradictions that define America while showcasing Ives' genius in weaving together a musical tapestry that is both nostalgic and forward-looking. Please enjoy Variations on America by Charles Ives. Also one takes your breath away too in the back there. Those were lots of interesting different variations on America, wouldn't you think? He was an organist, if you didn't know, Charles Ives, and he liked to mess around with polyphony, which is just taking two different keys and playing them at the same time. It's kind of weird. But unbelievably, we are in our 19th season because of your generous support and continued attendance. So thank you very much. Your donations help us support music education in the community by providing these free concerts. They also help us continue producing these concerts by making any tax-deductible contribution to the Southwest Washington 501c3 nonprofit corporation. I had to practice that. It's a lot to say. Staff and musicians volunteer their time. Funds are used for our auditorium fees, website expenses, music, insurance, publicity, recording expenses, and guest musicians, and our conductors. In fact, if you would like to help with the purchase of some of our print music, please consider making a tax-deductible contribution designated for the purchase of that music. For example, it cost $427 to purchase and ship 4 pieces from our last concert, and $495 to rent and ship the music for another single piece from our last concert. On hearing this, a wonderful patron named Karen Demko donated a generous sum towards the purchase of future concert music. And Karen, if you are here today, Karen, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Like Karen, your donation may be given to the ushers after the concert or mailed to P.O. Box 1483, Kalama, Washington. I know you have your pens already. 98625-1301. And if you didn't get that, our ushers are able to help you with that as well. And if you look on the back of your program, there's this fancy little piece of artwork there. It's called a QR code, if you did not know. And if you have a phone of this past year, maybe, you can scan it and it'll take you right to our website and you'll get the information there as well. And thank you, most of all, to our Southwest Washington Wind Symphony musicians and our conductor, Patrick Murphy. You all share your valuable gifts with us and your talent and your time, which we know is the most valuable thing. Board members and our founders, Rich Carr, my fellow trumpet player in the back, and Dr. Colleen Chun, his wife, out in the front, who was one of your ushers, Jan Boulay as well, our ushers, Beacock Music, Music World, Evergreen Public Schools, and our video production department up here. And of course, Thomas Friedman, again, up in the booth. Give him a hand. He does a lot for us. We're all complaining about light. We can't see. So he helps us out. Well, now comes the time for you to join us. Yes, okay, good. At least one person's excited. Okay. Now, we want you to sing like nobody's watching. Like you're by yourself at your house, nobody's there, and your best song comes on, and you're like, yeah, you're singing it. So first we need to warm up our voices. Could everybody do this for me? Could you do bubble lips, is what we call it in the general music biz? Go. Yeah, do that a couple times. Now try. I thought the concert was more exciting than that. Anyway. Okay, now everybody, we're going to use our syllables and go la. Try that. La. You sound, wow, you are singers. Wow. So what we're going to do is we're going to teach you the melody of our next tune, and you can do it 2 ways. We're going to start off with singing it on la. You don't need to know any words. And then whistle it if you're that fancy on the second time through. So our musicians are going to help us out with that. Okay? Here we go. you're going to be singing it on the way home. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la. La la la, la la la, la la la. La la la, la la la, la la la. La la la, la la, la la la. La la la, la la la, la la. Nice job. You're not done yet. We still have to play the piece. So now, please enjoy and look for your cue. That's the most important part. And join us on our final piece called On the Mall by Edwin Franko Goldman.